What's good, party people? Here's another action-packed version of Voodoo in the Woods, and we are doing the post-mortem of the, I guess, Saturday night's UFC Vegas 21. I'm According to Woods, and this is Voodoo Maximus, former UFC champion. This guy, just saying.
What's up? What's up, champ? What's good with you?
Not much. I had crunchy coffee and 4 hours of sleep, so this shit is gonna get interesting real fucking quick. Just saying.
Yeah, I was logging on to work, and I was like, "What? Adam Woods is on already?" I was like, "What? It's bright
Yeah.
and early, man. You're not playing today, Mister Eight
No.
Podcast a Day."
Hey, ain't no time to fuck around, man. LA's open and shit like that. So I
Yeah,
half expect everybody to turn into zombies, but
yeah.
that's just me. Yeah.
Gotta gotta get it started. Gotta get it started
Just saying.
early, bright and
I'm
early,
just saying. I'm just saying. This might be the last
bright and early.
transmission on Earth. We might all fucking turn into zombies and shit like that. And
All right. Oh yeah. Right.
yeah.
Right.
So just saying. I mean, in terms of zombie-like, we can't get any more zombie-like than this past Saturday's UFC Vegas 20 because we had eye pokes, we had fucking weird stoppages, we had Mike Beltran tucking his trademark mustache into his shirt. That was weird, but like Dana doesn't like that shit, and he swear to God, like that is a negative connotation for the UFC. Mike Beltran fucking is everywhere. Bellator,
Are you?
LFA, like he's done it everywhere. Never a problem. He trains jujitsu. That motherfucker is a badass in jujitsu. Never a problem. And
Wait a
but
minute. Wait a
yeah,
minute. Wait a minute.
you
I
don't
think
know
I'm
this.
missing something here.
You don't
Dana
know this.
doesn't.
Dana
What's the
doesn't like
problem?
Mike
What?
Beltran fucking refing, and for a long time he didn't ref. And then I guess there was an agreement made where Beltran would stick the mustache in his shirt like he did this past Saturday, and that's why Beltran does it.
Okay, now name one instance the beard got in the way of the job.
Not one fucking instance, bro. Not one. And again,
So, so, so Dana wants this man to take away his trademark because he's officiating.
yeah,
I don't understand.
I
What's that got
neither
to do
do
with
I.
anything?
And again, he's done it everywhere. This is somebody who trains actively in jiu-jitsu, right? And never had a problem. Like never had a problem. Like, I want to say he's a brown, if not black belt in jiu-jitsu, but high level jiu-jitsu, right? And he's a law enforcement official. Again, all of
I
those
mean,
things were, and a fucking he's on Lions. He's on a TV show. What ref
hey
outside
man,
of
hey,
yeah?
hey, minus everything he does on the side. You ask and you ask and you ask for good officiating. You finally get it and you start complaining
Mm-hmm.
because of his beard.
Yeah.
What's his beard got to do with you, man? What's the man's beard hair, man? You complain about the man's hair. Are you serious? Are you serious then? I had no idea this was going on. You have a problem with the man's beard? Come on, man. What's gonna be next? His blue eyes?
Hey, wait, come on. This is also the guy that said, "I'll never have women in the UFC." It's not like there's like
That's right.
four
He did say that.
divisions in the UFC, right? This is like, oh, the Paul brother YouTube guy versus Askren. It's a shit show, but also put $1 million on it, but not a
I'll put a
million
million
dollars.
dollar on it.
Yeah, not $1 million in the fighters' pockets, though, right? Like, the few and far between do we have. I mean, outside of Connor, Brock, Ronda, that's it, right? $1 million just on the
Hey,
UFC. We're not talking about sponsorships. We're not talking about anything else. Just in the UFC, right? have made $1 million, like $1 million from Zuffa Sports to said fighter. It's rarefied air. It's like maybe okay. So John Jones, if I were to pick four, I'd say John Jones, and again non-sponsorships. Like if it happened outside of just your cage purse, that not apply, right? But we're talking John Jones, Ronda Rousey, Conor McGregor, and Ronda Rousey. Those are the four. Because I don't think even Chuck and Tito, at the time that they were on top, like you couldn't even get it on pay per view.
It's embarrassing to even agree with you, man. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that we can count on one hand how many people have made $1 million. I mean, are
Just
you
on
serious,
fights.
man? What kind of nonsense is that?
Wait,
I mean,
wait,
we're not
no.
talking about bonus. We're not talking
You
about the
got to
bonus,
remember, right? This is where nobody's an employee, right? So your medicals and everything you take care of as a fighter, in addition to fighting, and it's an opportunity. But miss weight, fall out of favor, all that, whatever, and the opportunity is gone, right? This is not a career, but it's an opportunity. But if it's an opportunity, where's my opportunity if I fuck up? You fucked up. You said you didn't want particular things on your. I'll never have that happen. I'll never have that happen. I'll never have that. That shit is Vince McMahon as fuck because never say never in the WWE. That used to be the saying. So I think it also holds true in the UFC.
Hey, look, the only way to solve this problem is for all fighters to unite. If all fighters unite, they have no choice but to bow down. You know what I mean? But will they reunite? That's the problem. Will they unite? I don't think so. I don't think they will. And as long as they don't, this will continue.
Yeah, yeah, man. So speaking, and it definitely did continue on a Saturday night because we had UFC Vegas 21, and this one gets started off in the most impressive, spectacular way ever. Shout out to Matthew Smellsberger. Yeah, his nickname doesn't. Again, your your fight moniker should be like what is it? It's Semi the Jedi or whatever. No, you said like smells my burger. That's like you should do that, man. But it doesn't matter because you fucking knocked out Jason Witt, the Vanilla Gorilla, in 16 seconds of the very first round. That I mean, shit. I had my jaw drop. This was another like finish where my wife, who doesn't necessarily watch fights, she was like on the other side of the fucking room, and she was like, "What the fuck happened?" And that's big. That's big. The damn bell rang. They fucking lock horns, and then one goes down.
Hey, man, that was as fundamental as it gets. Eh, When you get to this level, man, even as an amateur, man, it is preached that if you're going to throw a kick, set it up. Set up your kicks. This man was throwing kicks, one, without setting it up, and two, leaving his head dead center. Dead center. Dead center. You leave your head dead center, you go to sleep. And he went to sleep. And that's all I'm going to say about that. You know what I mean? He brought that upon himself, and results quite apparent. Now, Semi the Jedi, he looked more like a Sith Lord. I mean, looking at this picture of his right here, he is Anakin Skywalker, and he proved that on this particular day. He capitalized on a wonderful opportunity. You know what I mean? He took the kick to deliver the kill shot, and the kill shot was on point. 99. Who's next?
So I mean, theoretically speaking, if he's the something about the Skywalker or whatever, so when does Jim Cornette get chased up by the thing and then drop down and only to be errantly not even caught by Big Bubba, later known as Big Boss Man, Big Ray Trailer? Like, what point in the match did that happen? Because that's the return of the Star Walkers, right? Road Warriors in the Midnight Express. That's where that.
That's right.
Wait.
That's
Oh,
right.
you Star Wars. I got it. Okay. I'm an idiot savant, more idiot than savant, but yeah, well, But speaking of, I guess savantitude. That's what I'm gonna go with. I like
Oh,
that
yeah.
savantitude. We had an amazing, like, showing by former Invicta champion Jin Frey with a unanimous decision win over Gloria DePaula. Now we called this, right? We called this on the last previous Thursday show. This is exactly what it, how it went down. Jin Frey, again, she is a tactician of everything. Grapple, striking. There's a reason why she was an Invicta champion. Like, this is a unanimous decision. Yes, Gloria Paula did have flashes of glory, as one would in a situation like this, get into the UFC. But again, Jin Frey, once she was like on that gas pedal, she never let up.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Um, Highly intelligent, college graduate, a nurse on the side, while being a professional nurse and a professional fighter at the same time. Oh, respect, man. Respect. Respect on the highest level. This is what I'm talking about. There's nothing wrong with fighting. You can fight, but also have something, you know what I mean? Something on the side that's going to help maintain you, you know? You can find time to train. Like, especially someone like her, she has no children, you know what I mean? You can find time to train. You can work and find time to train full time and perform at a high level. So she's proven that. And on top of that, finally, she evaluated herself finally. After two losses in the UFC, she thought to herself, something is wrong here. Something is wrong here. So she employed the help of a mental coach. The results are quite clear, you know. She doesn't have to be a mean and destructive individual to win a match in the UFC. She just has to be systematic. She just has to find a way to enter free flow, you know? And she found a way to win this particular match against Gloria DePaula. DePaula was looking real good, snapping those jabs, those cross, you know. Her Muay Thai was on point, but then as soon as Jin Yu got hold of her, the rest is history. Once she got her to the ground, she couldn't get back up. She took her back, absolute domination on the ground in the first. Second round went to well, second round I actually gave DePaula second round,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the judges gave her a unanimous decision, so it's what it is. Either way, Jin Yu won the match, and that's what I was hoping for. Congratulations to Jin Yu, and I'm looking forward to better things from Jin Yu.
No, 100%. Now, I forgot to mention in the Jason Witt Matt Schmelzberger fight, that was one of the performance of the night recipients to Schmelzberger over that 16-second KO. And imagine an extra $50,000 for 16 seconds of work. Now, obviously, that to say it's only 16 seconds of work, that is basically downgrading the effort, because literally, it's you become an it takes a lifetime to become an overnight sensation, and that
That's
was
right.
sensational. Like,
That's
how
right.
much has he been working on his fight IQ, his physical acumen, to basically be able to finish off a literal vanilla gorilla in Jason Witt in 16 seconds. So shout out to you, Matt Smellsberger.
Most definitely smells burger. Most
Yeah, man.
definitely. Shout out to you.
Absolutely. Now, in another Invicta veteran going over, both of them Invicta vets, Courtney Casey and
Hmm.
JJ Aldrich.
Hmm.
Um, and leave it to JJ Aldrich to basically. I'm sorry, no. Courtney Casey is not an Invicta. So she went straight from the regional scene to the UFC. But even still,
Hmm.
JJ Aldrich for sure is an Invicta veteran, right? And again, in
Yes.
the second straight fight, an Invicta veteran basically takes the young upstart.
Indeed, 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 man. Phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal team planning for this particular fight. I was sitting there watching the fight, and I'm like, wow, this is genius strategy. Um,
Yeah,
they did their due diligence studying Courtney Casey for this particular match. They knew Courtney Casey is tough, durable,
yeah,
solid chin. You're not gonna knock her out. You're not gonna knock her out. Um, you're almost not gonna outwork her, right? Because she's tough, right? So what's the next best thing to do? Okay, you got to do one more thing better than her, right? Yeah, you can box with her. She'll box back. Strike with her. She'll strike back. But do something that she's not for. Initiate double leg. Initiate
Hmm.
single leg. Takedowns. They just kept going for the takedown. And once you have the takedown, make her work. While she's trying to get up, you're scoring points. And this was the entire case in this match. Courtney Casey, she threw some solid shots. She threw more shots. However, JJ was calculated with her striking. Every time she got attacked, she covered up or whatever. She took the shots. Some landed, but nothing that was threatening, right? But when she initiated her attacks, those takedowns were significant. Not only did she initiate the takedown, she did damage on the ground while she was there. There was ground and pound.
Hmm.
There was absolute control on the ground. And this was actually what won her the match, right? She won. I believe she won the first and the third round. I can't
Right.
remember, but either way, she won at least one more round than her opponent, and that's due to her wrestling. She had great cardio, by the way, excellent cardio, excellent crisp boxing, right? Not much kicking, but from the two of them, but there was a lot of boxing. But hey, I loved what I saw. It was excellent strategy from JJ. She did what she had to do to win the match. Sometimes you can get a knockout, and sometimes you can get a submission. However, you can do whatever it takes to win a match, and she did that.
No, 100%, 100%. So again, shout out to one JJ Aldrich, and my goodness, we had Rafa Garcia in the 155-pound division, and he goes up against Germany's Nasrat. Yeah, and Rafa is a combate veteran, undefeated going into this particular contest. Beat a couple of our friends, and he actually was dispatched of via unanimous decision by Nasrat, bringing Rafa's fight record to 12-1 for the first time ever. There's a one next to his name, and Nasrat climbing to 13-3 in a unanimous decision win over Garcia.
Yes, yes. This right here was a case of trying to initiate the takedown. We all knew what Rafa's Garcia's gifted Rafa. We all knew what his bread and butter was, which is the wrestling. And all Nasser had to do was work on his takedown defense, and everything will be fine. He is the better striker. That's not a secret. He is the better striker. But the main thing that he had to do was make sure he didn't get taken down, and that never happened, which forced Rafa Garcia to show his heart, and show his heart he did. The man put on an impressive performance, even in defeat. He will be getting a call back from the UFC. He will learn from this particular loss. He will grow. Like people like this are meant for this company. This is the kind of individual that the UFC is looking for in Rafa Gifted Garcia. He's a workhorse. He's a workhorse, and he's ready to put it all on the line in the cage. And that's what we're looking for. That's the kind of performer we're looking for. When I say we, I mean the UFC and the fans. I'm speaking for both. Nasrat, excellent striker, excellent striking, beautiful striking,
Yeah.
surgical
Oh yeah.
striking, missile,
Precision.
missile guided missile, missile
Missile guided
guided
missile. I'll go
missile.
with it. Right on.
But you know what I
Right
mean,
on.
right? Technology guided missile, heat sickened missile. Everything he threw landed clean. He didn't overdo anything. Kicks, everything were on point. Lots of inside leg kicks. But hands just kept touching. He just kept touching them at will. Whenever Rafa attacked, he covered really well. And let Rafa do whatever he had to do. All he had to do was make sure he never let anything solid land on point. And he won by unanimous decision just by being an inch better. He was an
Yeah.
inch better the whole time. He kept that advantage the entire time. And shout outs to Nasrat.
Yeah. No, 100%. Big win for Germany. Big win for Nasrat. So kudos to you, good sir. Now, holy smoke. I love this. I absolutely love this because showing that old school is cool and then that you could retire on top. Ronnie Yaya, former WEC veteran, UFC veteran of and amassing a 12 and at the end of his career, a 27-10 record. That's an amazing accomplishment to even fight as many, but to have that many wins. But he gets an arm triangle choke victory over Ray Rodriguez in the second round. I love this because Ronnie picked up one more paycheck before he went. Yeah, he went to the pay window one more time and got a submission. You can't. I mean, outside of like maybe retiring as champion, I don't think there's a better way that you could do it. You know, he's still gonna go back home to his wife and kids and still have the cognitive ability and all that stuff and a little bit extra in his pocket. So I love the, and no disrespect to Ray Rodriguez, but I mean, you got to give, the just due to a young vet. I mean, a grizzled vet in Ronnie Yaya. You know, he's done a lot in his career. It's just cool to see him go out on top. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the interesting story about this particular matchup was Ray Rodriguez was in the audience some 10 years ago on one of those military bases, and he was watching Ronnie Yaya in the cage performing.
Hmm.
So 10 years later, now he's in the cage against this man. Uh, that must have been a beautiful moment for him,
Yeah.
someone he idolized. Now he's in the cage with him. And Ronnie Yaya, man, doing what he does best. He immediately initiated his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and lots of pressure. He put a lot of pressure on the young Ray Rodriguez. Ray, he did his best in the first round, but ultimately resistance was futile. In the second round, he was caught with a nice, I believe it was an arm triangle
Yep.
submission,
Arm
right?
triangle.
Yeah, yeah. So, we expect that from Run Yaya, man. Against a young up and comer like this, if he didn't get knocked out, there was a good chance he was going to get submission, and that he did. And congratulations to Honey Yaya. Thank you for all your years of service to us and giving your body to us. And I wish you the best in the future, Honey Yaya. Thank you very much.
Kudos to you, Mr. Yaya. And all of you little Yayas at home, kudos to. Oh God, I got a pain in my chest and can't breathe. This is me kind of reminiscing on the great memories that Ronnie Yaya gave to us, and it just hit me right here. My goodness.
Yeah,
So shout out to you, Ronnie Yaya,
that's
and it's
right, man.
again beautiful story. And Ray Rodriguez kind of looking up to this guy, and he's the one who gives him his last win. That's
Mm,
some samurai shit right there.
straight up, man. Went out on the
Yeah.
shield.
Hmm. Now speaking of
Hey,
some samurai, oh good.
that's some Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris type shit right there.
Yeah, man. Walker,
You know
Texas
what I
Rain.
mean?
Never mind.
Yeah. That's
I
that
said
return of
Walter.
return of the dragon. That's that good old return of the dragon right there.
I said Walker, Texas Ranger. Shit. I'm an idiot. Anyway. hey, hey, Walker, Texas Ranger. He
Yeah,
did kick the
you're
shit out
part.
of Jeff Jarrett. When fucking Yokozuna. Like everybody was like, "Oh yeah, Chuck Norris. Oh cool, whatever." Like I just remember Chuck Norris kicking the shit out of fucking Jeff Jarrett when Jeff Jarrett and his goons were trying to shove Undertaker in the casket during the Yokozuna
That was in the
fucking.
'90s, huh?
Hell yeah. He was at the height of
Wow.
like his Walker Texas Ranger fucking fame, and especially like guys like him and Kareem. We hadn't even heard of Jackie Chan here in the states. Aside from like tape
Hmm.
trading, Rumble in the Bronx
Yeah.
didn't come out for another 4 years.
Hmm.
After this,
Hmm.
so like literally a direct descendant from Bruce Lee. And he's here and he's on TV with Walker Texas Ranger, and then using that to do the fucking wrestling deal. Fuck yeah, man! I'm doing that. Like, sign me up. Shout out to Chuck
Most
Norris with his Pro Glider flex machine and shit, dude. And he's doing cameos too. So if you want Chuck Norris to say some cool shit about you, you can do that. And I think it's like $250 a pop. So just saying, you got them stimmies coming if you're here in the U.S. So
Oh
there you
yeah, oh
go.
yeah. They're coming on
Yeah.
Wednesday, I believe.
Dun dun dun. There you go.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm going to the thrift shop with that shit. I'm gonna be like fucking Malcolm Moore and Ryan Lewis. Y'all want to shit $30 in my pocket, bitches. That's what I'm saying. You know. But I mean, thinking about digging in the pockets, for some gold and shit like that. That was what was on the mind of Charles Air Jourdain as he KOs Marcelo Rojo, which,
Mhm.
funny enough, that is the second recipient of the. Wait, no, it isn't. It's not. It didn't even get a. Fuck, man. Charles Jourdain, hook this motherfucker up, please, because
Mhm.
he had Marcelo Rojo stumbling. I mean, it was almost like uh, Marcelo Charles Jourdain hit Marcelo Rojo so hard that I swear Marcelo's feet were like that Joe song. Hey, I know you're trying, I know you're lying, you stutter. Like his feet were
Mhm.
stuttering all throughout the fucking octagon until he finally, just knocked out Rojo. So holy
Yeah.
shit, man! Charles Air
Yeah.
Jourdain, 11-3 out of Saturday night, incredible.
That right there was my favorite fight of the night.
It
Those two
was.
went at it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Striking at the highest level, man. They threw caution to the wind and they put it all out there. Charles Jourdain was awesome in his display. This is beautiful kick. The choices of kicks that he used were on point, man. And that's what made the difference. The kick can make the difference. I mean, the both of them could throw hands, but
Yeah.
Charles's kicks were slightly different.
Ooh,
Slightly different,
bring
Lots
it.
of lead. Yeah, he threw a lot of lead front kick. You know what I mean? Lead roundhouse kick, and that right there made the difference. Marcelo came out of the gates, just blasting away, man, blasting
Hmm.
away. He is a very good fighter himself. He's a
Yeah.
very good fighter himself. He is someone I would call a complete fighter.
Hmm.
But in this particular matchup, Charles is just a little bit better, man. Just a little bit better. Charles connected just a little bit better, and that's what made the difference. It was a high paced match. It was a high paced match between the two beautiful strikers. Jourdain, man, Air Jourdain, he was fire, man. He was fire, and he was able to put this guy away in the third. He dropped him in the second. He dropped him in the second,
Yeah.
with a very, very, very hard shot. But the young
Hmm.
man is so tough. The young Argentinian was so tough. Just kept coming back. Just kept coming back until he got hit again in the third round, and it was just there wasn't much left in there. And I do not understand why this wasn't fight of the night. I mean, these two went out there and they did a phenomenal job, and they didn't get fight of the night. Um, Sometimes these people that decide who gets these bonuses. Sometimes I question their judgment. Sometimes I question their judgment. But they elected to go with the most vicious knockouts.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. I understand. But how can you go with the most vicious knockout when these two just put on a masterful display of striking? They showed you where MMA is headed. They showed you where mixed martial arts striking is headed. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And you couldn't acknowledge that, couldn't know that. Well, I guess you can say these two were ahead of their time. This match was ahead of its time. So they weren't intelligent enough to grab. Someday, someday, someone will go back to this video and bring it back. You know what I mean? In the
Yeah.
future, and then people are like, man, how come they didn't get fight of the night? They will talk of this in the future. I foresee that. But shout out to both men. Excellent performance. And if I had to fit a hundred G's, I would break these two off in a heartbeat, man.
Yeah. No, 100%. They absolutely deserve it. But I mean, somebody who is worthy and just, I mean, worthy of every praise given to her, right? Is one Angela Overkill Hill. I mean, look at the year that she's had, right? She's improved much of her striking and much of her all around grade. She has basically been on the Joe Rogan podcast. She is an anchor for the UFC wraparound shows when she's not fighting herself. She's just improved in every facet, and it showed even more so here over, you know, Ashley Spider Monkey Yoda or Yoder. Why did I say Yoda? I don't know. Yoder. Uh, I mean, this was Angela Hill all the way. And, I messaged you. I messaged you and Jesse. And I was like, I don't know if she wins a championship in Angela Hill, but she's definitely going to be a contender. Within the next 2 years,
Yes.
she will definitely be a contender. But I also think at her rate of progression, she's going to be dangerous, a dangerous opposition for whoever kind of stands in her way. I want to see right off the bat her and Carla Esparza. That's something that kind of piques my interest, like because again she's the top. I mean Carla Esparza, even though she's kind of dropped in some of the rankings and whatever, but like in terms of prowess, she's top of the food chain. You can never
Hmm.
count Carla Esparza out as the inaugural champion
Hmm.
of both Invicta and the UFC of her respective weight. I mean, her weight division. She's
Hmm.
one of the greatest of all time. I honestly
Yes.
believe that, right? So
Yes.
I would like to see Angie Hill kind of test her mettle against Carla Esparza.
Yeah. Well, that's true and all, but she's got to work her way up to Carla Esparza, man. Carla's on another level,
Yeah,
and I do not mean physical prowess. Um, when we talk about physical prowess, we give that to Angela Hill. Angela's way more physical than Carla, but Carla's got that brain. And in this match, I mean, in this game, the brain is far superior to physical prowess. But to talk about this particular fight, I'm I wasn't all that impressed. You know, if you know,
really.
we both we yeah, I wasn't all that impressed. We both picked her to win. We picked her to win. Not only did we pick her to win, we picked exactly how this match was going to end up. We knew she was going to win by unanimous decision, and we knew she wasn't going to get a finish. Did we
Mm-hmm.
not?
Right.
So, I mean, when I'm watching this match, I'm watching how it's going down. I wasn't impressed at all. I wasn't impressed. Yoda, so for some reason, Yoda kind of was in that deer in the headlight state. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
The whole time.
Yeah, she was like a step behind the whole time. And even in that state of mind, Angela Hill still could not finish her. Still could not
Mm.
finish her. I see a problem there. I see a problem there. It isn't physical, it's mental. It isn't physical, it's mental. And this is the only reason why she is yet to cross over into that into that
Like top echelon.
stratosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, into that space, right? She's got one more thing left, and it's in here. Once she changes that, well, I can't really put a name on it, but it's there. I mean, Yoda was able to secure a body lock in which I mean, Yoda got stunned. Angela ran through there and forgot about her distance. How do you forget your distance, man? You have the kill shot. How do you forget your distance? How do you run into this person, have them lock you and take you down and take away that advantage that you had? It was like she ran over there and gave the advantage away to the opponent who was
Mm-hmm.
already injured, right? She had the knockout in the second round and she gave it away. And this is why she has yet to make it into the top five. This is why they gave the fight to Michelle Waterson instead of, even though she won that match. This
She did
what I'm
win.
talking about now is, huh? Well,
She did.
I felt Angela won that match against
Right.
Waterson. She was a better fighter. You know what I mean? Even against Claudia Gagelia, she was the better fighter that day. But they give it to those people because those people they understand that thing that I'm talking about. That thing I cannot explain it. I can't put a name on it, but it's in the mind of every fighter. When she's able to conquer this thing that I'm talking about, then the future is going to be bright. She will
Yeah.
remain a contender. She will remain a contender, but a champion, I am just not sure yet. She's about she's about 2% there to reaching 100%. She's at a 98% right now to get to that
Yeah.
level. That's gonna
Yeah.
take her into the stratosphere. But without that 2%, man, yeah, try and get on the public transportation and be 2 cents short and see what happens. They'll tell you to get
Yeah.
off the bus. That's what they're gonna tell you, and
Yeah.
that's what's going on with Angela Hill right now. Maybe
Well,
a little more training. We'll
yeah,
figure it out. She'll figure it out.
Don McGuire has an interesting kind of analogy, and I think it fits.
Okay.
But
Okay.
the Megan Anderson syndrome. Mm. I mean, you're not
Okay.
wrong. You're not wrong, Don.
Okay.
Just saying, so I'm just saying. But I don't know if he's
What's up,
wrong or
Don?
right. Yes, shout out to Don McGuire of the Fighter's Ways. He says, shave Voodoo. Shave.
Every now and then I gotta remind people how old I am, man. You know, I gotta let them know how old I am. If I shave, I
Boo,
look young, and they forget.
boo,
You know what I mean? Every
shit.
now and then you gotta
So
remind them.
his emojis when he sends stuff is like of an old, ragged old man. You do not have the fucking body of an old man. You fucking Benjamin Button ass mother good genetics son of a. I'm kind of pissed. Damn it. Like you lift a barbell and you fucking get a six pack. It's just like anatomically and fucking kinesiology, fucking weird. Like I fucking touch a fucking sweet and I gain 5 pounds in my fucking hips. So I'm just
Hey,
saying.
hey, you also have to understand, man. I put in the work. I was up this morning at 200 kettlebell swings, man. Got to put in the work
Wait,
if you
200?
want to remain. 200 kettlebell swings, man. That's just warm up. That was just a warm up. You know what I mean? Shout out to Becky. You know, shout out to Uma. That's the people I swing with. So all day, strong
Damn.
first, baby, strong first.
I that's my like half of that is just my workout is 100. I do 100 and I'm like, I got a pain in my chest. I come birth, come birth, come birth. So I'm just saying, miss my homies. We miss you too, Don. I hope you're well. Shout out to Don,
Hey,
and he's
shout out to Don and congratulations on eating solid foods, man. All day, man. Keep it going. Keep it going, brother. The fight ain't
yeah,
over, man. The fight ain't over. We just getting started here. We just getting
yeah.
started, Don. Keep fighting, brother.
Uh, did mean didn't Megan Anderson remind you of one of those squeeze toys? Yeah, yeah. Her eyes all bugged out after fucking Nunes got. Yeah, it was. And then again, like I said, like she was like, "Hey, motherfucker, you gotta fucking talk to my baby." That was like fucking pimp mode squad right there. That was like, it was like I just knocked
Hey,
your ass out. Play with my baby. Don't tell me you got a concussion. Fuck that.
hey, that
Oh,
was
and also here's your walking papers. Bye, UFC. Like what the
that was some.
fuck?
Oh, that's right. They let her
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
That's right. Damn. Hey,
Damn.
not only did you get knocked the F out, sayonara, like Japanese. Damn.
And
Break
and
you
play
off
with my
like some
baby before
mother
you
effing
leave.
Japanese.
Play with like literally the not the last image of any fight fan of Megan Anderson in the UFC, and this is not to clown. This is not clowning at all because she is more of an athlete than I am or ever be. Right? She's
And
a
myself
contender.
included.
Right. So this is no disparagement of Megan Anderson, but the very last image that we have of her in the UFC octagon is her holding the fucking baby and giving alms bearing, like bowing down to the fucking Nunes baby. So that talk about some a lot of people a lot of people talk about flex. You can't get stronger flex than that. Like you gotta fucking it's not John Jones get your shit together. Walk off your fucking concussion, Megan Anderson, play with my baby. That's
Damn.
flex. That's
And
flex.
then they hit it with the deuces.
Yep.
They hit him with the Chris
80.
Brown deuces.
Don McGuire said 86er ass. Shout out to the 86ers
Damn.
who are a vital sponsor for the Fighter's Voice with Don McGuire. And shout out to those dudes. They're fucking cool as shit. Freddie and the crew. But yeah, they 86er ass. 100%.
That's crazy. I mean,
And
she
she's
didn't have a losing record.
no, no, that was the last fight of her contract, and she was probably going to do like a Ryan Bader. Maybe in her mind, right? Ryan Bader beat Fedor on the last, fight of his contract for Bellator
Mhm.
as the light heavyweight and the heavyweight champion and Grand Prix winner, right? See, he had all the gold and was able to fucking cash in. Lucky he did, because he's kind of on the skids. He already lost the lightweight title, light heavyweight title, right?
Oh, he's gonna lose again.
Oh yeah, aren't they doing a fucking Grand Prix, dude? Here's the fight. I know we're talking about UFC. Ah man, and not just because he's a friend. Bader Barnett. Bader Barnett. That's what I want
Barnett
to
all
see.
day long.
Right. So that's why you
Barnett
make it.
all day long.
That's why you make it. I want the War Masters to get one more title run. That's it.
Barnett will beat that dude.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. It's like Barnett Bader, book it, Scott Coker. That's all I want to see. You can Grand
Fourth
Prix
round
all that
submission.
if that.
Fourth round submission.
If that.
Bader's gonna run. He's gonna run. He's gonna run for the first 3 rounds. You know what I mean? And then sooner or later he's gonna get. He's gonna slow down. Once he slows down, it's on.
Did you see the fucking bare knuckle fight that in Poland that fucking Barnett took? The motherfucker, his opponent looked like the God of War. Literally looked like fucking Kratos.
With all the
tattoos and shit like that. And fucking Barnett just added some color to that shit. Just beat him to a fucking pulp. And again, that dude's a Poland, right? Joanna, like they're fucking Johan Blachowicz, right? Those are those are badass people. And fucking Barnett pieced them up.
Hey, Barnett cut the best promo for that fight too, man. Mm-hmm. He was like, "Hey, man," he's like, "What? That dude's from hell? Shit, I'm ready to go to hell too, man. Let's go. What's happening? Let's do it in hell." I was like, "Yes."
And that's it, Which I can't wait till we see, WrestleMania weekend. We get Josh Barnett's Bloodsport, another incarnation, and we've got we got Barnett and fucking John Moxley, the former Dean Ambrose, the former WWF champion, former AEW champion, and he survived a fucking sparkler. It wasn't an exploding death match. It was a sparkler death match. He basically survived 4th of July is what John Moxley. And shout out to Eddie Kingston for fucking saving his friend and shit like that. But that shit was a sparkler. That was like the 99s. You buy the fucking big fireworks and shit packet, and then they give you those shitty sparklers and the fucking worms and shit like that. That was the fucking death match, exploding barbed wire death match. Good Lord, And, oh, God. I love this. Don McGuire, you should have you book for the UFC. Amanda Nunes versus Gabby Garcia. No.
Amanda
not
Nunes.
A joke. No. Bullshit.
Amanda Nunes.
That shit. I want that shit. All steroids in Pride. Let's take that shit to Saitama Super Arena. Let's do that shit. Fuck it. Just one night only.
That's an easy fight for Amanda.
That's fine. Cool. Fight for Amanda. I want to see it.
Too easy.
That's cool.
That's KO City.
Cool.
Gabby would drop like a sack of rocks.
That's cool. Like a Sakuraba?
I would love to see that.
No.
I would love to see that.
Let's do that shit. All steroids, fucking, like fucking commission, get the fuck out of here. We're doing this shit, like all steroids, whatever. I want the best genetically fucking, dude. I think either Jesse Velasquez or I might have sent it to him or he might have sent it to me. Gabby Garcia on a stripper pole was the most frightening thing that I've ever seen. Like somebody so huge to fucking have the great, like that's weird. It's like fucking, Brock Lesnar doing the shooting star press at WrestleMania and fucking landing on his head. Right? And then still F5ing a motherfucker in Kurt Angle, right? So, just saying. I want all steroids, Amanda Nunes, Gabby Garcia, right? That's it. Like, and fucking book it as such. Like, shit. We at the UFC, the booking committee, the matchmaking, committee, we have scoured scorched earth, but only one challenger remains. But the only way that we can do it, the only way that we'll agree to the circumstances, if it's at the famed Saitama Super Arena. And fuck, man, that's it. Everything legal.
Saitama, man. Saitama fits like 80,000 people, man. That'd be a killer match.
Yeah.
Fucking, wow. It'll sell out. That will sell out.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's it. Yeah, that'll beat Ronda. No, for sure. That'll beat Ronda Holly in Australia for sure. Because that was the first
Easy,
like stadium shit, you know. So
hmm
that's what you do. And so
easy.
again, I like you said it was a joke. I want that. I want that so much. And then Amanda, if you
I will
wanna,
watch that.
if you wanna ride off into to the sunset, cool. Like you've done your duty. Like wait, look it up. Oh shit, are we getting it? Oh, oh my God. Oh, get on the Google machine, sir.
What?
Oh, this will make me so happy.
Are you serious?
Oh, come
What?
on. Oh, please tell me. I
Are
hope
you
this.
serious?
Oh my God. Do you
Let me
got it?
see something like that. I'm working on it.
Oh man, if that happens, ah, Jesus Christ, that'd be great. I'm not getting anything. I'm not getting anything other than like old school interviews. So again, I hope that happens. I fucking hope it happens. That's what we need to do. Hell yeah, I'm in. Sign me up. Let's do this shit. Fuck man. But speaking of like shit to do, right? We have kind of a fucking. I mean, this was Groundhog Day. We call us Bill Murray because almost the exact fucking same thing that ended the main event. Well, no, the bantamweight title bout, right, between Piotr Jan and
Yeah.
Aljamain Sterling, at a different angle, happened in Eric Anders, Darren Stewart. This sucked so bad, and I don't know, you know. And this is a lot of people were talking about Anders' lack of fight IQ. You know, this Anders, much like a litany of others, you know, transferred from NFL, right? He was in the NFL in football, and he transferred over to the UFC, right? So it's not like we're expecting him to have all this fight IQ, but shit. I mean, he's still a 13-5, veteran, right? So he's done it for close to 20 times as a pro, and how many times as an amateur. So he kind of knows what the fuck it is. But even still,
Yes.
your boy fucking knees the shit out of fucking Stewart. Oh, yeah, dude. He's got a fucking amateur. He started his amateur career in 2012. So he's hardly uh, uh, a rookie, you know? And then started his pro career in 2015, amassing again a 13-5 record. So this dude's got close to 40 fights. It's not like you don't know. Fuck, you need the shit out of fucking Darren Stewart. And yeah, man, it
And
was all she
it,
wrote. And Darren Stewart wanted to fucking continue. The fucking docs came in and was like, "Yo, bro, not this is not a good look for you."
and you know what's crazy about that? A week ago, a week before, 2 weeks ago, a week
Yeah,
before, your boy went on the internet on Twitter and he
yeah.
puts up Jan thinks he's in the old days of Pride. Ironically, a week later, he wound up doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Exact same thing.
So
The thing here is, I like what the referee did. I think the fight should have gone. You really want to stop these things from happening? Give the fight to the person that got injured. Give it
yeah,
to them. Don't even ask them how they're feeling. As soon as that infraction occurs, just give it to them.
yep,
You know what I mean? Just give it to them. Same thing for eye pokes. You poke somebody in the eye, just take a point immediately. It has to be, if you really want this thing to stop.
yeah,
You hit them in the nuts. Even if it's by accident, give the other person a point. If they can
yeah.
continue, give them a point. You know what I mean? They need to be, if they really want things to change, they need to be strict about it. So it is what
Which
it is.
Yeah, which I mean, obviously we saw the title change hands, in the bantamweight division the week prior, right? So I don't know if a title should change on a DQ, but definitely something should happen. I don't know what that thing is. I'm far from the most qualified person to ask that question. But I mean, I don't know if you checked out the fucking Derek Lewis on Rogan. you know. And he was like, yeah, in the fucking Ruan Potts fight. And for those who don't know, and if that name doesn't sound familiar, you know, like Ruan Potts was legitimate, like the best heavyweight that Africa had ever fucking done. You know, snatched up every fucking title, including like their version of the UFC, like the biggest promotion in Africa. He was the champ at the time that he signed his UFC champion. I mean, his UFC deal, right? And I think he went 0-3. And but Derek Lewis is just like, yeah, that motherfucker got me on cardio, so I just fucking kicked him in the nuts so I can catch my breath. He straight up fucking. I was like, oh shit, oh shit. That dude does not give a fuck, man. It's not like he's just, he's like, whether I just want to keep on fucking earning money and fucking knocking motherfuckers out. Whether I get a
Hey,
championship or not does not matter to me. I just want to do
hey,
this
look,
shit.
man. There's two kind of people in this world. Those that chase championships and those that want to feed their family and stack. You know what I mean? It's great when you can have both, like Connor did. Connor was it. But if I have to choose one, man, I have no problem choosing the cash, man. I have no problem. Forget all that championship. Hey, man, no one remembers. No one cares. No one cares. You do all that and you acquire this title. Why you think Khabib's gone? Khabib's gone because he already got the cash. He already got a
Yep.
pocket full of cash. Now he's gone. You know what I mean? He's got his little 29 and 0. He's like, man, forget about it. Forget about it. I got the title. Yeah, I got the title. I'm out of here. I can understand. Hey man, if I have to choose one, you can have your stats. Stats don't feed hungry kids.
Mm-hmm.
Stats don't feed hungry, and that's what he's trying to say. That's what he's trying. He's like, yo, man, give me the cash. I don't get a title fight. Hey, whatever. If it comes, I'll take it. Don't get me
Yep.
wrong, I'll take it if it comes. But if it doesn't come, yo, give me the money fight. I'll take the money fight. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, we enter this realm of combat for to be recognized as the very best in the world. But hey, man, there's gonna be another the very best tomorrow,
Yep.
right? But
Yep.
once you miss your opportunity, guess what? It's gone. It's gone. So if I have an opportunity to stack chips or get some belt that's gonna collect dust on my counter, hey man, you can keep the belt. The belt's only $300,000. If I have an opportunity to stack $50 million, I'm going for the $50 million. You can keep your stats. Stats don't mean nothing. That's a fact. Stats don't mean nothing. Rich people use that stat to control you. That's how I see it. You know what I mean? Give me some of them riches, man. That's what I'm talking about. Give me some of them riches. And if I need this belt to get more riches, then I'm gonna use that as a bargaining chip. But that's the only reason I'm going after this belt as a bargaining chip. That's it. If I can stack without the belt, hey man, forget the belt. And that's what the man is trying to say. You know, yeah, if the belt comes, great. But if it doesn't come, give me the chips. Let's go to Vegas and
Yeah.
double down on myself.
Yeah. Which I mean, Don McGuire shared a link. Unfortunately, you can't pull it up, but it says that it looks like I want to make sure that I quote the website, but it is MMAcore.com. Uh, Unfortunately, it's a facsimile of what the UFC 266 card would look like. And they say it's going to be headlined by Gabby Garcia and Amanda Nunes. It would superimpose because this also prospective card, what they're citing to happen is a fight between Israel Adesanya and Brock Lesnar, as well as yeah. So might not be the most credible. Yeah, they're saying Vicente Luque and GSP, Amanda Nunes and Gabby Garcia, and then Conor McGregor versus Jake Paul for UFC 266. So might not.
Hey, while I was searching for this Amanda and Gabby thing, I did find that Kayla Harrison is willing to give up 100 pounds to Gabby Garcia so they can get this thing on. So Gabby has yet to, you know, I mean, it goes back to 2018.
Yeah,
We're in 2021.
yeah,
Obviously, you don't want it. She don't want it. Kayla
yeah.
Harrison, two-time Olympian, she called her out. She's
And
willing to
PFL
give
champ.
100 pounds, and she don't want it.
Yeah.
Yep, she don't want it. So it is what it is. Whatever happens, we'll see what Gabby's talking about. But this
Yeah.
information here says Julia Buds called her out. I mean, Kayla Harrison called her out, and she don't want it. So there you go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And Amanda Nunes is nothing against Kayla Harrison, but she's spades better than Kayla Harrison in a lot of different things. So,
Actually,
I
I
mean,
take that back. Julia Buds called her out. Julia Buds. I take that back. Not Kayla
called
Harrison. Julia Buds from
Julia Butts
Bellator.
called out Harrison
Gabby
Nunes or
Garcia called out Gabby Garcia. She said, "I'll spot you 100 pounds. Let's go." And
oh, I like it. I like it.
nothing
And
yet.
Julia Budd is phenomenal. Had a chance to kind of catch up with her before she eventually lost the title to Chris Cyborg at the, but at the pre kind of media scrum before that Bellator fight at the Forum. So yeah, incredible person. Incredible, her husband's incredible. Her stepson's incredible. Just a family of badasses. They all do MMA. Yeah,
Nice.
so shout out to the Gibsons, right? So we will see, But yeah, the Eric Anders, Darren Stewart, fucking hell, man, fucking hell, and him Anders fucking spouting off on social media. You have to do to an extent, right? But Jerry Lawler on one of the WWE video games said a pearl of wisdom that I'll never forget, and that was you make your words soft and sweet just in case you have
Mm-hmm.
to eat them later. And Eric Anders
Mm.
didn't fucking make his words soft, so he's eating that
Mm.
shit, and that shit is like my coffee. It's got fucking crunch to it.
Hey, and just like the previous week, man, he was winning the fight. He initiated the wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
got Darren Stewart extremely tired by the end of the first round. You know what I mean? And he did what Angela Hill did. He overdid it. He forced
Yeah.
the issue. Let the
Yep.
man up. Let him
Mm-hmm.
up. You got the cardio advantage. You're not tired. He's dead tired. Dead tired. Let him up. Let him up and put hands on him. But, he's got that thing, that thing that you can't put a name on, that little thing, he couldn't get the finish, unfortunately. He he
No.
he he wanted it so bad, he gave it away to the opponent, like the previous week. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, what a waste of training camp.
No. No shit. No shit. But we actually had Matthias Nicolau of Brazil basically beat Manal Kape by
Hmm.
split decision. I mean, what was your take on
Hmm.
this flyweight affair?
This Manel Capo guy, I now remember him. I was watching, then I remember. He's the Portuguese fella from the previous weeks
Yeah.
that we talked about. If he was to win, Cristiano Ronaldo would retweet him and change his life.
Yep.
And you know what I mean? And for some reason, he can't find his way to a W, even though they're giving him people that he's supposed to defeat.
Mm-hmm.
The first guy I can understand, but this guy right here, he should have beaten this guy,
Yep.
Mateus Nicolas. Nicolas clearly wanted it a lot more than he did. Nicolas was a complete fighter. Manu, he initiated lots of takedown defense, which was good. He improved from the previous fight to this fight, but he got caught up too much. Times that he was in danger, he was in extreme danger. He almost lost, and he wasn't aggressive enough. Yes, I understand he's trying to keep from getting taken down, but at the same time, man, hey, your meal ticket depends on it. You got to go all out, and he didn't go all out in that third round. Nicholas, on the other hand, went all out in that third round. You know what I mean? Lots of beautiful low kicks. He initiated the high, medium, low attack, and even initiated the ground attack. Manu did not do that. Manu, I didn't see phenomenal striking from Manu. Even though he is a phenomenal striker, I didn't see phenomenal striking, which is why he never got the finish that he could have got. He never made it to dynamic. He was very, very good, but he didn't make it to dynamic. He had to make it to dynamic to beat this fella, and he didn't do that. There were no kicks initiated. At this point in the game, you're such a beautiful striker coming from Tiger Muay Thai, and you don't have any calf kicks.
Hmm.
Something is wrong, and this is
Yeah.
why you're losing, Manel Cape. Manel Cape. This is why you're losing. You don't have any calf kicks. Sorry, it's over.
It is over. It is over. So, I mean, we don't know what his career trajectory will look like. Even though he gets a win tonight, it's going to be very hard to kind of reach the top echelon of the flyweight division with game plans and lack of prowess as such. So, we'll see. You might have won the fight, but you might lose the war overall. So, hopefully, he can heed to the warning and kind of change it up a little bit, or get aggressive or what have you. But yeah, man, it's good luck trying to take that with a fellow Brazilian, Davidson Figueiredo. That shit's not
Good luck.
flying at all. He'll
Mm-mm.
snatch you up and choke you. That's it.
Snatcher. Hey, he'll pop his head off his shoulder.
Hmm.
Figueredo's way too big for that weight class. He get a hand on him. Forget about it.
Yeah,
Death.
yeah.
Imminent death.
Now, speaking of things to forget, these are one of three straight fights where we have a first round knockout, right? Three consecutive $50,000 bonuses for the winners of such. And these, the one out of three, are instances that, respectively, Jonathan Martinez, Gavin Tucker, and Misha Krokunov would rather forget. Because, again, three straight first round KOs, three straight 50 grand recipients in Davy Grant, Dan Ige, and Ryan Spann. So, first off, we have Britain's Davy Grant against Jonathan Martinez. Shit, man. Davy pieced up Jonathan. And again, much like I said in the previous knockout before, it was like after Davy Grant fucking his fist touched Jonathan Martinez's chin, it was almost like Jonathan Martinez's feet were stuttering. Like they couldn't fucking whatever. He was on spaghetti legs. Lights on, nobody's home. Fuck, man, this was an incredible KO.
Hey, this particular matchup was an excellent job. Whoever put this particular fight together was phenomenal, man. Phenomenal job putting two guys together to get a competitive match. Both gentlemen are excellent strikers. Excellent strikers. Excellent strikers. Beautiful kicks. You know what I mean? Beautiful kicks, beautiful hands. Martinez was slightly better to me. From what I saw, Martinez was slightly better, but he made a mistake. He dropped his hands. He did make it out of the first round, right? He made it out of the first. And at 3:03 in the second round was when he went to sleep. And how did he go to sleep? It was quite simple. Davy Grant here initiated one of Bang Muay Thai. What's coach's name?
Bang Muay
Bang
Thai is
Muay Thai.
Dwayne Ludwig.
Yeah.
Wait,
Dwayne
yeah,
Ludwig. Yeah.
yep.
He initiated one of his techniques, which is if you're standing in orthodox, right? Immediately switch. So he switched his stance to southpaw, and upon completing that switch, he threw a body shot, right? And simultaneously threw a headshot, and that's what knocked out Mr. Jonathan Martinez, right? Cold, knocked him out cold, dropped him immediately, went for that finishing touch, right? And that was that. Jonathan Martinez made the ultimate mistake. He left his hands down. He left his hands down. Your opponent is attacking and you didn't cover up. These things happen. All day long, Davy Grant was throwing looping shots. Looping shots. All he had to do was stay guarded and stay within his guard and throw shots down the middle. He was doing that, but perhaps he was getting tired because, fatigue makes a coward of us all. And it is real. His hands started dropping, that quick switch of the feet, hook to the body, hook to the head. Night, man, it was all over with. And he made the ultimate mistake and paid dearly for it. So Jonathan Martinez is kicking himself right now because he won. I believe he won that first round. He won that
Yeah,
first round with slightly better striking, and then he went to sleep in the second.
yeah, no, 100%. Now, there's some shocking news that I didn't hear at all, but Don
Hmm.
McGuire wants to know our thoughts before we move on. And I didn't know this before. Your thoughts on Sheena Starr killing a man and fleeing states. I just read up on it. So Sheena Starr is a risen veteran, right? She was probably the most famous of signing with BKFC and wearing a oh, Hillary's a cunt shirt. I think
Oh, I remember that.
that is Sheena Starr's kind of claim to fame, and you thought that was infamous, but leave it to her to kind of get even more infamous than that. So what it says is Sheena Starr. This is from Yahoo News. Professional combat sports athlete Sheena Brandenburg, also known by the fighting alias Sheena Starr, has been arrested on charges stemming from an August hit and run incident that left one person dead in Clark County, Michigan. A former fighter for Bare Knuckle FC and Risen, Brandenburg was only recently arrested in Ellsberg, Missouri, after a warrant for her arrest was issued in October. Michigan State Police said to the news said of the news to MMA Junkie on Wednesday after initial report. Yeah, so basically she hit somebody. It was a hit and run. The person died, and that was in August. They issued in October a warrant for her arrest, and she fled up until up until just a couple days ago. This article coming last Wednesday, the March 10th. So yeah, fuck, I didn't even know about this. Jesus.
I had no idea. I didn't even know who Sheena Star was.
Okay, well, I mean, if we float over to her topology, um,
Hmm.
0-4 record, all right?
Oh,
0-4 record.
okay.
Yeah, I maybe she was one of the folks that went against Gabby Garcia. I remember she was in a freak show fight in Risen, but I can't remember which one it was. I want to. Okay, so she fought Shinju Nozawa Alclair and back in 2017 in Risen and lost by first round armbar, right? And then Cage Titans lost by triangle choke in the first
Damn.
round, right? Big John's MMA back in 2018 gets KO'd first round. Then she lost to Leanne Adkison in Rage of the Cage, Oklahoma, which I don't know if that's Atkinson, but that is the shoot name for the Von Erichs of Texas. So I don't know if she's
Mm.
actually a Von Erich, but that's nor here nor there. Holy crap, man! Like I'm just now finding this out. This is nuts, man.
That's crazy.
This yeah, and her only well, I'm not gonna say her only win because she did beat Amber Van Kloppenberg at Total
Mm.
Warrior Combat back in 2012 and a win over Alicia Moro at SSFL Respect back in 2012 as
Respect.
well. Right.
That's a whole
But
lot of losses here.
yes, I mean littered with losses in her career, only 3 wins, 4 wins. Um 4 wins, a lot of them coming by way of amateur, the 4 wins, and then 1 win as a professional in BKFC. So, but this is one of those like Chris Benoit, and then she was also a cut woman for BKFC, and won one and lost one in BKFC. No, thank you
Mm.
for the context, but yeah, this is at least to me almost like a War Machine, Chris Benoit type scenario where like it doesn't matter what they did in the ring or the cage or whatever, there was a loss of life that happened, right?
Mm.
And no, War Machine didn't kill somebody, but like that poor gal, despite what her occupation was, whatever, there's a part of her that is dead. There's an innocence that he took away. The Jonathan
Mm.
Copenhaver took away, right? So that's a death. Those are deaths of people, right? The gentleman that was also with Christy Mack, right? It's he's left his life is irreparably damaged, right? In terms of psychological, right? So it's death, right? And I just hope there's some healing, knowing that you know uh, the family of the victim is getting some sort semblance of justice, because there was so many questions that were unanswered, and then not just unanswered, but now you have a face, you have a name, you have a vehicle for this hit and run that killed your family member, and they're on the run, right? So I just hope and pray and keep peace for the family of the victim, because I can't even imagine.
Um, oh, I don't even know what to say, man. This is shocking. But she's in custody now. I mean, like you hit someone and then you take off because you're thinking about yourself only. And now it's caught up to you. I'm sure it's gonna be a lot worse sentence than it would have been if
Yeah,
she stayed
yeah,
and being honorable. But hey, these things happen, man. Who knows? Who
yeah,
knows what choices will be made under those pressures?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think the last time that she was making waves in terms of social media, in terms of the combat sports world, obviously she wore the shirt in BKFC that rose a lot of attention. But
Mm.
her and Ashley Gambino out of Vegas were, even on Adam Hunter's MMA Roasted podcast to kind of hype that up, and it never materialized. But some folks that will say things about both parties, of course it didn't. So I kind of leave it there. But
Yeah.
and Shaman Steve, shout out to Shaman Steve, says karma materializes in many unexpected ways. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Shaman
Sure,
Steve.
sure,
Absolutely.
sure, 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 sure.
Yeah, yeah. So again, a terrible occurrence of all parties involved. So, and I do know that Sheena has a child, so that sucks
Mm.
too. So it sucks all around. Nobody wins in this situation. I mean, we laugh, make tomfoolery and everything like that, but this one is just it's a fucking icky feeling, and nobody wins. You don't bring the
Yeah,
person
man.
back. You don't bring back the child's mother. You can't nobody fucking wins. So it's fucked.
Even her
So
own child is now without a mother.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
fuck, man. Oh, Jesus. Now we're gonna talk about fights, but yeah. Second, straight KO. We had for the first time. Maybe he was listening to this podcast, but maybe he was fueled by the upcoming birth of his child. But for the first time, Dan 50K Ige finally wins a 50K bonus. Definitely manifestation of what has eluded his career thus far. That before Saturday night, because fucking one punch KO, walk off KO over Gavin Tucker. They say it happened in 22 seconds of the very first round of the fight, but really that it was like literally 16 seconds for them to walk to the fucking center of the octagon and for Ige to do what he does and fucking knock Gavin fucking dead in the dirt. I mean, it looked like he was paralyzed from the fucking neck down. All he could do was raise his head, and he was still trying to argue like, "Hey, we can fucking do this," but
No,
all
you
he can
can't.
raise
Not
was
on your
his head.
back.
Yeah.
Not on your back. You can't do jack on your back. Yo,
Mm-mm.
man, God was on Egate's side. That's pretty much all it was. You know what I mean? Did Gavin Tucker? Here's what Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee would say, "Never take your eye off your opponent, even when you bow." Right? This man, Gavin Tucker, took his eye off his opponent, and he paid dearly for it. I went back and I watched that knockout. Danny Ige was ready to kill or be killed, right? But in that particular strike, his eyes were closed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Izzy will say, I aim and fire down a barrel. I don't wish and hope. You know what I mean? I aim and fire down. Dan Egan's eyes were closed. He was praying and hoping it landed, and God answered his prayers. And it did land. You know, it did land. The man he didn't even have his eyes open for the shot. He was expecting to get hit as well. You know what I mean? And it just so
Mm-hmm.
happened that he landed first. And he landed on the money. The man
Yeah.
hit jackpot. He hit jackpot. And what I like most about his post knockout reaction was the fact that he acted like he's done it before. He acted like he's been there before. He didn't over celebrate or do anything outrageous. You know, he didn't
No.
jump on the fence and hey! You know, he just he walked around. He walked around. He felt the moment. You know what I mean? He let it settle in. You know, people who are mature, this is what they do. You know, this is what they do. And Ige is a man that fights for his family. You know, every little scrap he saves so he can get home to his family.
Yeah.
And on this night, he was able to lock and load on a buck, a big giant deer, and he shot it through the heart. One
Mm-hmm.
shot, one kill. And the buck dropped dead right on the spot. Now he gets to drag it home to his family. You know what I mean? Not just any old deer, a 9 point deer. You know, 6 and above, you're doing good. This was a 9 point deer, and shout out to Dan Egan, man. Uh, his child is on his way. You know what I mean? What better way to welcome your child than with a nice security deposit? You know, to get the child's life started. Congratulations on the child. One, congratulations on a beautiful gift God bestowed upon you.
Yeah, and talk about bringing things home and everything like that. And shout out to the jackalope because that is all I fucking got from Voodoo's analogy. I know Rogan eats elk meat, and that's about it. And the jackalope that was on fucking America's Funniest People, but that's it. So shout out to 9 points of that. Anywho, it, yeah, and it's and talk about bringing home the bacon or whatever. He didn't have to bring it far because he has relocated from Hawaii to mainland in Vegas, so he just had to fucking
Mm-hmm.
drive down the road, which again, not bad. You live in a tax-free state. That's cool because you got an extra $50,000 to fucking deposit with no taxes.
Yeah.
50K all the way, bro.
Hey, fight pay, win bonus, and knockout of the night bonus.
Yeah,
The man is good. He's
yeah,
good for
man.
now.
Yeah, good for now. So, shout out to you, Danny. Okay? And I did talk shit. I was like, "Yo, bro, like you're 50K, you haven't gotten a fucking 50K bonus, blah blah blah, whatever." I did talk that shit. So 100%. Um,
Hey, hey, look. I wasn't going for Danny to win this fight. Gavin
mhm.
Tucker is a very, very good fighter. I
Yeah,
was looking for an upset, but when you don't really, I mean, Tucker knew he could win, so he didn't respect his opponent, which is his only mistake. And if he would have respected his opponent, he wouldn't have been so aggressive so early. Like the smart fighters, they test the waters first. What have you brought to the table with feints? What did you bring to the table? What's going on here? Here's a couple of jabs. How do you react? Test the water. Don't just jump into the water. You know, you might jump into the water and realize that the water is actually frozen. Now you've gone head first and you've banged your head on some hard ass ice. So that's what he did. He banged his head on some hard ass ice, trying to be a tough guy. He paid for it.
yeah, yeah. Shaman seems saying 9 point deer. Come on, man. Again, again. All I know is, hey, you fucking run into a fucking bufo fucking frog, that motherfucker spits in your face, and you're getting a little bit closer to Jesus or whatever deity that you subscribe to, a little bit closer than you were bargaining for. So that's all I'm saying. Fucking nature's weird. Nature's fucking weird. The fuck am I gonna go toe to toe with a fucking deer? Fuck that. Like I had a tough time fucking dodging drive-bys and shit. Come on. I'm not gonna tempt fate. Good lord. Guess what? You could go. I mean, everybody. If you step on your lawn, they want to get all fucking. What's his name? The fucking Dirty Harry, fucking Gran Torino. Like whatever the fuck. Which
Yeah.
whatever. Okay. I'm going camping. Guess what? You're in the fucking bear's house. It breaks off your face. That's what happens, right? If you shoot a motherfucker for stepping into your yard, you fucking go camping with your whole family in the fucking bear's fucking cave. Good luck. That shit ain't no Yogi Bear. Get the
No,
fuck
it
out of
ain't.
here. Just saying. This guy not hunting. I'm a urban survivalist. That means I survive fucking being urban. 10 points there. I sound like this and grew up in Inglewood. Come on. That's survival enough. I made it.
That's
Damn
right.
it. I made it. Fuck, man. But shout out to you, comments. There you go. Shit, man. But we are at the co-main event of the evening. We had Misha Krukanov against Ryan. I mean, motherfucking Span. He's Superman. Cool. You're Superman. You earned that title. 9-6 coming out with a vicious KO of a dude that literally looked like you fucking what is it, deep faked onto a fucking body, a head. Like Misha Krukanov doesn't even fucking look real. That looks he looks like a fucking biochemistry experiment gone wrong. He looks like a myostatin inhibited fucking cow. Those cows with the fucking muscles and shit like that. That's what Misha looks like. And somehow, some way, this Superman ended up being the fucking kryptonite to Misha. Holy fuck, man.
This one, man, I just it almost seemed like a couple of these fellas on this card were cursed. You know what I mean? It seemed like they were cursed. Like you, Misha, you come to this cage being a very, very excellent wrestler / grappler. And you want to stand in front of a guy that can only strike? You want to stand in front of him and strike with him? What are you thinking? Like, what? First of all, who's in your corner telling you that you are somewhat of a good striker? Who lied to you? And then why did you believe it yourself that you were a good striker? What were you thinking, Misha? What were you thinking? Why would you Come on, man. Come on. Ryan Spann is a striker. That's all he does. That's what he does best. You want to stand in front of him? I mean, what do you think was going to happen? Not once did he go for a takedown.
Yeah. You know what I think
are you trying
happened?
to strike for? What do you think happened, man?
I think
what do you think happened?
Misha and the rest of his fucking team were listening to the Eurythmics, right? They were listening to the Eurythmics, and they were like, you know, one of the hit songs that they fucking never play on the radio, which I think is a fucking travesty. Would I lie to you? Would I dare say something that wasn't true? Nasty little sugar, would I lie to you? And they fucking lied to Misha, right? And guess what? Superman over on the other fucking side of the fucking, UFC Apex was also listening to the Rhythmics. And you know why? Because he must have been fucking in his headphones as he's warming up. Sweet dreams are made of this. I'm just saying. Right? Because that's exactly that. He fucking put the hands and put to sleep Misha.
Man. He knocked the bejesus out of this fella, man. Hey, Misha, man.
Twice. Misha kind of stumbled around, whatever the fuck, and what was left of Misha, fucking Superman took that shit out too.
You know, when I see stuff like this, then I think I don't blame Khabib for wrestling the hell out of people. I don't blame him. I mean, you see stuff like this, like, yeah, it's a tool that you are given. You know, use it. Right? Just don't overuse it. You know, like Khabib does. He overuses it. But this guy, man, he didn't even try. Like, what are you doing? How do you not take the fight to where you are most comfortable? Why would you? Who cares about your opponent? Why would you want to be in a position where your opponent is comfortable? This is an opponent. You think the opponent wants to be where you're comfortable, like on the ground? Span doesn't want to be on the ground, right? And then you help them by staying on
Mm-hmm.
your feet. You didn't even
Mm-hmm.
try and take him down. Like, what are you thinking? But anyways, man, I don't even want to talk about this dude anymore.
This shit, man. This is. I think it's funny that you're like you kind of praise Habib for fucking being able to wrestle fuck the shit out of all of his opponents. I think it's hilarious, right? Because you're like, that's just what you do, right? You can't, but don't overuse it. But then there's also pro fucking Wonderboy Thompson and T Woodley. Like, what in the fuck? Again, I was in the arena for the fucking 209 fight. Not fun. I never want to see either of those motherfuckers again. Ever. 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 Like, give
Hey
it
man,
up.
I'm on a podcast, huh?
Doggy don't care. Doggy don't give a shit if you got a podcast or not. That's it. I'm surprised my fucking Pugsley hasn't farted over my face like 3 times. That's usually what happens. That's it, you know? So, just saying. But fuck, what we are saying, and this is going off with a whimper because it doesn't give, it doesn't get the full treatment because it's not anything good, right? We've got the main event of the evening. Leon Edwards, Rocky Edwards against Bilal Muhammad. That's it. Fuck. What the fuck are we doing, right? And it's crazy, right? You were just talking about, setting up your kicks and shit like that. Well, Leon Edwards set up his kicks. I don't know. I'm not a fucking impresario in terms of combat sports, acumen, and tacticianistic tendencies, right? But I don't know anybody that sets up a kick by fucking setting it up, putting their hand out, and digging the fuck. No, he didn't even do that. Did you look at the fucking picture? He dug into the eyelid. He unceremoniously fucking opened up Bilal Muhammad's eyelid. Like, what? That motherfucker was the Repo Man. That Repo Man that was trying to fucking take Randy Savage's title. Instead of the fucking title, he fucking tried to repossess Bilal Muhammad's eyelids, which that's pretty fucked, if you ask me. Pretty fucked, is what I'm saying, right? And a lot of
Hey,
people are like, okay, a lot of fighters, they were just, shaka, baby. I like it. I love it. But no, I mean, a lot of fighters were basically trying to get better gloves, right? And that was like everybody's kind of deal. It was the UFC's gloves. It sucked, and they did it. A couple of people tweeted out the side by side comparison: UFC gloves versus Pride gloves, and Pride gloves a lot better, a lot more efficient, what have you. Absolutely, right? But here's the fact of the matter, right? The UFC knows the inefficiency of their gloves, right? Bellator, in terms of the big two promotions, of course, guys and gals on their way out might get another shot at fame, fortune, and whatever, bigger paychecks going over to Bellator. There's been a litany of people that have done it. Kudos to them. But also, I want to believe the Bellator gloves is responsible for a lot of people coming over to Bellator. That you have your safety in mind, right? It is facts. It is facts. Go back to the Joe Rogan with Trevor Whitman and Justin Gaethje, right? They have a glove, tried and tested, called Onyx, right? They are co-creators, right? Of Onyx, right? And they try to present it to the UFC. What did the UFC want to do? What did Dana want to do? He wanted to buy it outright. He didn't want to partner with anybody. He wanted to buy it outright. He has the answers. He doesn't want the answers. He wants ownership. If that, he's not playing the fucking game of Monopoly. He wants to land on Park Place and Broadway or Boardwalk and fucking take all your shit. That's it.
He wants to build hotels immediately.
Yeah, 100%. And again, the UFC was saved from the ashes by the Fertitta brothers, who own the largest non-union hotels. That was the reason why MMA at large, not just the UFC, MMA as a whole was not regulated, which is a shit show in itself because New York, a fucking heavy union state historically, And again, they didn't want to utilize. So guess what? Your fight company, it's like fucking the Dikembe Mutombo. So you know, yeah, Dana knows how to fucking solve that. Dana knows how to fight for your safety, right? He doesn't want to. Honest to goodness, Yep, King Dana doesn't want to share. That is the absolute truth, right? Now, in terms of this fight, Belal Muhammad definitely looked scared. He looked like a fucking deer in the headlights, right? And Voodoo, you were talking about, Bilal was outside. I think he was ranked number 13, ranked number 13 going into this, and cracking,
Mm-hmm.
A top three fight, right, in the division, right?
Mm-hmm.
And talk about there's levels to this shit. I think Bilal Muhammad definitely found out there was levels to this shit. He looked like a fucking scalded dog, like Jim Ross says, right? He looked like a scalded dog for the large part of a short stanza, right? That ended in
Mm-hmm.
infamy, right? So with that all being said, I saw Bilal Muhammad is, fucking pleading on social media for a rematch. Maybe something that you want. It's not something I want. Honest to goodness. You almost lost an eye for this shit, right? And it's not like, again, you beat Leon Edwards. You would have fucking had a tough time at one and the champ, right? You would have had a tough time. Let's be honest with yourself, Bilal Muhammad. You would have had a tough time, right? And now I don't get why this is a draw, right? When Aljamain Sterling won a UFC title almost to similar infamous. Obviously, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the same. It
Mm-hmm.
was an errant knee kick by Jan and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But even still, this shouldn't have been a. Why is that a title change and a win for Aljo and a draw for Bilal and Leon? Right? You should have gave it
That's an
to.
excellent question.
Yeah.
That's an excellent question. And the reason they gave you, or they gave us, is as follows. The previous fight that you speak of between Aljamain Sterling and Pietrien, the fight was ended in the fourth round. This particular fight didn't make it out of the second round.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying that there wasn't enough competition to to come to a satisfying conclusion that this person won, or that, you know what I mean? It wasn't a. It has to go through two rounds. It has to make it into the third, at least the third, if they're going to rule the person that was assaulted, rule them as the winner, right? This particular match, not enough, and also the guy that got kneed in the head, that also occurred what in the first round. So that
Mm-hmm.
also was a no contest. The Eric Anders and Darren Stewart match, that also was a no contest, simply because it never made it into the third round. Okay, they
Mm-hmm.
have to go through two full rounds for this to happen, and the actual main event was in the 18th second of the second round, and not enough, not enough information. You
Yeah.
know, if you're writing a paper, not enough information to write it to come to a conclusion on. So it became inconclusive. So this particular match was a no contest. However, I saw enough to be able to predict what the ending of this match was going to be. I love Bilal Muhammad. I love his approach to mixed martial arts. I love how he handles himself on the microphone. I
Yeah.
love the fact that he does his absolute best to build his platform, and I also love the way that he is a complete fighter. Right. All that said, against Leon Edwards, he is no match. One, Leon is taller, reach advantage. That's one. Two, Leon is faster,
Mm-hmm.
faster, better boxer. And it looked like Leon was actually a better kicker as well, because Leon
Yeah.
was using, not only was Leon switching his stance, Leon was using his lead kick, lead left high kick. Not a lot of people do that. I talk about the lead leg a lot, and Leon understands the lead leg, and he's from Britain. He's from Britain. They usually
Yeah.
box in Britain,
Right.
and Leon is an excellent lead leg user. So
Yeah.
Leon already is already miles ahead of him when it comes to striking. Now, I say miles ahead of him. It might just be 1 second ahead of him, but in fighting, 1 second is 1 mile, 2 miles
Mm.
ahead of
Yeah.
your opponent, because that's all it takes. I mean, look at when Aldo versus McGregor. McGregor hits him first, and then he hits McGregor after, but McGregor's already shut your lights out.
Yep.
Milliseconds. McGregor got there milliseconds before Aldo. You know what I mean? And the lights were turned off. So this is what we have here. Leon Edwards is a whole second ahead of him. The speed was just too much. His speed was too much. His boxing was too much. People argue that Bilal Muhammad, Bilal, he usually gains momentum as he. What do you think Leon Edwards does? You don't think Leon gains momentum as well? Look, they started here and they
Mm-hmm.
remained here.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I mean, you could do this all you want.
Yeah.
The distance is still clear, right? Yeah, they're both moving up, right? But the distance remains the same, right? Bilal Muhammad is going to have to do 3 and 4 and 5 more things better than Leon to catch up and close that gap. But that's not gonna. It didn't look like it was happening.
No.
Didn't look like it. You know what I mean? I mean, it was that left leg once again that Leon was using, something Bilal Muhammad wasn't used to seeing.
Mm-hmm.
That attack from the left side, and at the
Yeah.
same simultaneously kick from the left side.
Yeah.
He was expecting the kick to come from the other side, so he closed the distance, right?
Yeah.
And in closing the distance, Leon was still there
Yeah.
with his hands out in process of throwing a kick. Bilal runs into the finger. He gets his eyes gouged out and takes a kick to the liver at the same time. Now, it's really unfortunate how everything went down, but Bilal was not going to win that fight. I mean, anyone can win a fight, but based on the evidence that we saw, he
Mm-hmm.
was outclassed
Yeah.
for 5 minutes and 18 seconds.
Yeah. And it would have continued. This is a 5 round fight. I think Leon would have finished Bilal in the third, if not fourth round.
Yeah,
So
yeah. We
you
we
know,
said fourth,
yeah,
but it was clear it was going to be end of the second or third.
yeah. Now, Shaman Steve introduces a interesting theory, which does have credence. He says a draw, probably because of Vegas betting action, possibly.
Mm,
That's
that's
facts.
it.
That's it.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. Then that way, no one loses their money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
That makes
again,
sense.
but we
That makes sense.
we we lost out of a very credible main event and Covenant main events. Main event. It was
Hmm.
garbage. Unfortunately, and
Hmm.
why would Leon do that then, especially after not fighting for some time? See that I don't know. That I don't know. Right? Like again, and I'm far from like a talented striker or like nobody would see me strike and go like, "Oh, this guy's legit." No, that doesn't, and that's not my rule, right? But for what little I know, I don't know who fucking sets up the kicks by fucking sticking their. That sounds like from some McDojo shit, some Rex
Hmm.
Kwando, like, oh, you want to know how to defuse your opponent with a fucking kick? Fucking dig out their eyelid.
Well, the original intent of the technique he used was the kick. The hand was to blind his opponent, not literally, only figuratively. When you
You
throw the
fucking
hand towards the eyes, when you throw the hand
nobody
towards
told
the
Leon
eyes,
that.
the vision becomes blurred, right? And in the blurring of the vision, the kick sneaks in from underneath and lands, right? This was his intent, but unfortunately for him, his opponent was in the process of taking advantage of Leon entering into his opponent's circle, right? So when I say circle, we have kicking circle, right? We have punching circle and we have elbowing circle. That distance, right? Once Bilal felt Leon enter with the jab, right? That kicking circle, he went forward in an attempt to capitalize, but unfortunately, he ran into these right here, and it dug his eyes out, and that was the end of the match.
Yeah, well, he definitely entered a circle, that perfect circle being Bilal Muhammad's cornea. And shit, man, fuck. I swear to God, like I thought Leon Edwards was trying to fucking get the ingredients for a witch's brew. You know, Eye of Bilal Muhammad, check whatever, and you're cursed for the next 300 years. Like I thought that was gonna happen. Like fucking Leon Edwards is doing Romany gypsy fucking curses on Bilal Muhammad. That's like that's what I thought was going on. You know, so
Yeah,
I don't know.
highly
Fucking weird shit.
unfortunate. Highly unfortunate. Now, I mean, talk about having bad luck. Who's had the worst luck than Leon Edwards? Leon has had the worst luck of in MMA history. I don't think I've ever seen any. Well, oh no, Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz.
Yeah,
Dominic Cruz
breaking
has had
all of
some
his shit.
terrible luck.
Yeah,
Yeah. Dominic Cruz has had some terrible luck.
yeah.
But right after that guy is Leon Edwards, man. It's really unfortunate for him to remain in an inconclusive state of being. You know, he's number 3 in the world, in the UFC world. He's number 3, right? And
Without a
still,
fight.
the yeah, without a fight, and no one wants to fight him because he's so dangerous.
Hmm.
No one wants to fight him because he will take your spot. The only person that's beaten him recently has been the champ himself. That's the
Yeah,
only person that's beaten him recently. And
yeah,
right? He is a very dangerous man. Even defeat to the champ, it wasn't like he was like beat up. He was just out wrestled. He wasn't like all cut up or swollen or anything like that. He was just out wrestled. He was held down for 25 minutes. That's what happened. He was held down for 25 minutes.
yeah.
Leon Edwards is a dangerous human being. The fact that Bilal Muhammad took that fight, shout outs to Bilal. He gets all respect. But unfortunately, I do not want to see that match as well.
No.
I do not want to see Bilal and Leon go back in there. I think it's time that Leon gets that title shot that he's been waiting for. Yes, he wasn't able to prove that he is the. Actually, he did prove it, man. We didn't get a conclusive ending that we were looking for, but there's no one else. Look, man, no one wants to fight this guy. No, everyone is turning on the fight. Everyone's turning on the fight. UFC.
Yeah.
What else does a man have to do around here? What's a man got to do? Nobody wants to fight him. Everyone is tucking tail, and as they say, squatting on their ranking. They are squatting on their ranking. Give the man the chance. Obviously, they don't feel that they can beat Leon Edwards. And if they don't feel they can beat Leon Edwards, well, there's only one person left, and that's the champ. The champ said no. The champ hasn't said no. But you can't expect the champ to call out Leon Edwards. He's the champ.
Yeah. Yeah, this is true.
Champ.
Yeah.
So put this fight together and let's get the show on the road. The people have waited long enough. Leon Edwards has waited 2 years. Let the man fight. Let the man fight. The champ ain't got nobody else to fight. George Masvidal didn't want it. The champ called out Masvidal. He didn't want it.
Nope.
He did not want it. Right? Leon Edwards is ready. Give the man a shot. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Come on. You want an exciting match? This is it. This is the match we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
So let's go.
Yeah. So shit, man. But that is UFC Vegas 21. And yeah, let's go. That's what I want to get to because fucking next week, UFC Vegas 22 is going to be an amazing, amazing card. This is, I mean, assuming that everything goes off without a hitch, nobody gets the COVID, nobody gets injured, nobody fucking, look at all the fucking mitigating circumstances that we got to go through. Nobody fucking passes out in the dressing room, nobody fucking, like, those things that would never happen, they've happened over the last year. So let's hope not for any of those things to happen, because we want the health and safety of the fighters and the people first. One, but hey, we've got some friends fighting on the card. We've got Gustavo Lopez. We've got Julia Avila, the Raging Panda. We've got our dude, friend of the show, Jesse Strader. Jesse Strader makes his UFC debut at UFC Vegas 22. This one I am
That's
psyched
right.
for. We got Tai Tuivasa in here. This one is just meat and mana from the fight heavens, man. It's amazing
Yeah.
what we got here. Uh, yeah, so
Yes.
we're gonna go, like, come back to you Thursday at some point and break down this UFC Vegas 22 card in its entirety. This I'm excited for. Out of all, I want to say this might be one of the best Vegas fight nights that we've had in 2021. We had some bangers in 2020, but 2021, this is the best fight night card put together. So let's hope that works. So Voodoo,
Hey,
where can
hey,
they find you?
hey,
Oh, good.
hey, but before you go looking for me, in the words of Khabib, I don't ever I don't think you've ever heard me quote Khabib, but in the words of Khabib, let's go, let's go, let's go. I can't wait till next Saturday, but I can't wait till Thursday when we get to break this show down. We're gonna break it from top to bottom, or bottom to top, whatever. Let's go. Like Khabib would say, let's go. That's my favorite thing out of Khabib's mouth. Let's go. Let's go. You want to look for me? You can find me on you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Voodoo Maximus, Twitter, Voodoo Maximus, Facebook page, Voodoo Maximus. You know, those are the places you will find me. Voodoo Maximus. Type that in, it'll pop up. We can chop it up. Let's go all day,
Yes.
every day. I don't know what else to
Appreciate
say.
the
Look for my man
insights.
on According to Woods, Adam Woods, According to Woods, all of the above. Let's go.
Let's go. Absolutely. According to what's on everything. Appreciate the insight. Location and time. Location and time. To quote Habib, uh, again, Voodoo Maxus says, Ali Abdul Aziz, number one.